You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Called the USA, and we fly our flag cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. Never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can, we're Americans.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Good evening, everybody. Great to be back with you. Sorry about last week. Tropical Storm Gordon rearing its ugly head here on the Gulf Coast. Want to give a shout out to our friends over on the mid-Atlantic coast looking at Hurricane Florence. Yes, it's gotten just a tiny bit weaker. This is still a bad, bad thing. I want you all to be safe out there. Fu, I don't know if you're listening yet or not, but the further south it goes, the better for you. Further north. So, fingers crossed. Anyway, all right. We got a bit to do. I mean, business is business, right? Politics waits for nobody. So they say, or anything, you know. I did see a neat headline today that accused Trump of being responsible for the hurricane. Thought that was pretty neat. Now he can actually make weather. Yeah.
Well, he's God, cool. Don't you know? I mean, that's what the Democrats think. He's God, so.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be, right? Because that's the only way he could have won the election, too, is if he meddled with the election, too. So, I mean, he's got all these supernatural powers. But what gets me is if he has all these supernatural powers, why are these people criticizing him so much? Don't they think he could just strike them down and kill them?
I don't know. It's a conundrum.
It really is. So anyway, you know, we got things to talk about. I didn't have time to do extraneous headlines today like we normally do. Had some other real life garbage going on that I had to take care of, and you know, I was glad to take care of it because it's somebody I love, but it's still just an unpleasant thing to have to do and don't like doing it. But anyway, we're here. We're live. We're doing the show. We're kicking ass. We're taking names. You know how it goes. So anyway, we're going to start off tonight with one of these people that are criticizing Trump. We're going to go with former Secretary of State John Kerry. Yes, Lurch himself. Not that I was trying to do Lurch. I was just trying to do a dull, monotonous voice. And I thought I succeeded, so don't complain about it. But former Secretary of State John Kerry disclosed that he has been conducting rogue diplomacy with top Iranian officials trying to salvage the nuclear deal with Iran. You know, and God help us. In Iran, and push the Islamic Republic to negotiate its contested missile program, according to recent remarks. So Kerry, who did an interview with Hugh Hewitt to promote his new book. Why Hugh actually had this moron on, I don't know. Said he has met with Iranian former minister Javad Zarif and the former secretary's one-time negotiating partner 3 or 4 times in recent months behind the Trump administration's back. Kerry said, I think I've seen him 3 or 4 times, adding that he has been conducting sensitive diplomacy without the current administration's authorization. Kerry said he has criticized the current administration in these discussions, chiding it for not pursuing negotiations with Iran, despite the country's fervent rhetoric about the U.S. president. Now, Kerry's comments are in line with previous reporting on his behind-the-scenes attempts to save the nuclear deal and ensure that Iran continues receiving billions in cash windfalls. These payments were brought to a halt by the Trump administration when it abandoned the nuclear agreement and reimposed harsh sanctions on Iran that have nearly toppled its economy and sparked a popular revolution. Kerry said he met with Zarif in Norway, Munich, and other international forums. That's the highly educated's way of saying cities, because that's what Norway and Munich are. You know, well, Norway's a country, but Munich's a city. So anyway, as Iran continues to plot terror attacks across the globe, transport weapons to regional hotspots in Syria and Yemen, Kerry has tried to help preserve the nuclear agreement with European nations. Now, according to Kerry, he said, what I have done is to try to elicit from Zarif what Iran might be willing to do to change the dynamic of the Middle East for the better. How does one resolve Yemen? What do you do to try and get peace in Syria? Those are the things that really are preoccupying him, because those are the impediments to Iran's ability to convince its people it's ready to embrace something different. You know, having the Death to America rallies in the streets, that's not really anything different. So anyway, Kerry has said that he has offered blunt talk to Zarif in order to push the regime to accept restrictions on its foreign interventionism. I've been very blunt with Foreign Minister Zarif. I told him, look, you guys need to recognize the world does not appreciate what's happening with missiles and what's happening with Hezbollah, what's happening with Yemen, Kerry recounted. You're supporting an ongoing struggle there. Iran has said they're prepared to negotiate and resolve these issues, but Trump's administration has taken a very different tact. Yeah, they're not going to allow people to lie to them and just keep getting away with it while getting all these cash windfalls. That's the different tact. And criticizing the current White House, Kerry lamented that it appears right now as if the administration is hell-bent to pursue a regime change strategy. If that were the case, don't you think we would actually be working military action there? That's not what we're doing. If we really wanted regime change, why go about it through economic ruin and have it take years and years and years? Now, the former Secretary of State cautioned the current administration, saying the United States historically has not had a great record in regime change strategies. Number one and number two, that makes it very difficult, if not impossible, for any Iranian leader to sit down and negotiate anything, because they're not going to do it in a capitulatory situation. Iranian leaders have said multiple times in recent months that they will not take any meetings with Trump or his administration. Well, I guess that means that they're just going to sit this out and suffer the sanctions then. because that's their only options. It's not like you can just have a regime change in the United States. Not for a couple more years anyway, and I don't see it happening then. I mean, did you see the ridiculousness of the beginning of the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings? Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, these two morons have work to do just to be considered stupid. This is what the Democrats are trotting out? Oh no, that's not it. I forget. John Kerry's talking about running in 2020. Joe Biden is talking about running in 2020. And don't forget, Hillary's quietly doing fundraising events every so often, thinking about 2020. Are you serious? This is what they have? Look, I was going to save this for later, but I saw this today and I just had to include it in tonight's show. So I went to a webpage that Nancy Pelosi was promoting, Democratic Leadership or Democratic Leader or .org or .com or something or another. But anyway, she has the plan. This is what they claim that the Democrats are going to do for you, okay? Now, mind you, this is Pelosi and she's pushing this webpage. Okay? Says they're going to, now get this part, lower your health care costs and prescription drug prices. I thought that's what Obamacare was supposed to do. That's what they shoved down our throats, saying was going to lower our health care and our prescription drug costs. They said no American should ever have to break the bank to pay for life-saving care. But today, too many Americans are forced to make the choice between paying their bills or buying their pills. Democrats will fight to bring down health care costs and lower prescription drug prices by holding insurance and drug companies accountable while strengthening Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Our country and our economy are stronger and healthier when every American has access to quality, affordable health care. You know what I see in that paragraph? I'll tell you what I see. First of all, there's contrition, not openly. It's covert contrition. They have to say that they won't say they screwed the pooch with Obamacare because they know they forced it down our throats. Okay? What they're saying, though, is that the Republicans wrecked Obamacare, and that's what caused the prices to inflate. Never mind all the years that, Obama was in office and, all the... Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous what these people are trying to say. Okay? But here's the other thing. They will fight to bring down health care costs and lower prescription drug prices by holding insurance and drug companies accountable. Accountable for what? Accountable for what? You can't tell them what they can charge for their services. Okay? While strengthening Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. That tells me higher taxes. How do you strengthen any of those programs without higher taxes? Our country and our economy are stronger and healthier when every American has access to quality, affordable health care. This is from the same party of people that are trying to get in a position to make decisions on who gets health care and who gets treatment. Charlie Gard, ring a bell? This is what the Democrats want. Okay, next up. This is their three-pronged plan. We're going to prong number 2 now. Increase your pay through strong economic growth and by rebuilding America. Wow. Really? The details under this heading. Here in America, we should reward honest, hard work with jobs that pay enough to get ahead and support the freedom of workers to join together to negotiate better workplaces through strong unions. But right now, too many jobs don't pay enough to allow hardworking Americans to build a good life, or save for a secure retirement. Democrats will invest in innovation industries like clean energy and build economic infrastructure like roads, bridges, and ports to help our economy grow and create good-paying jobs. Because when working families earn more, our economy works better for everyone. So basically, they're taking Trump's campaign promise that he has now made good on, putting more of our hard-earned money into our pockets and spurring the economy to record-setting growth. They're taking his campaign promise and making it theirs, but muddling in that they want to strengthen unions at the same time. They want to strengthen unions so that they can extort money from employees at places that don't want to join, but force them to pay. You know? That's how they strengthen their unions. They make the dues mandatory. You know, Trump has an infrastructure plan that he's trying to get passed. He's talked about it forever. Roads, bridges, ports, airports, growing the economy, creating good-paying jobs. It's happening. The infrastructure bill hasn't passed yet, but the economy has grown. During the 2016 campaign, Obama himself, while still in office, said that there was no way that Trump could deliver on his promise of 4% GDP. He said he would need a magic wand. Guess what, folks? I guess the phone and the pen don't qualify as magic wands. And this goes back to the damn hurricanes. You know, you saw the tweet today that Trump's responsible for the hurricane now. And Rick, were we on air when we talked about that, or was that before we went live?
No, you talked about it at the very beginning, because that's when I said that, he was God, so, that's why he's responsible.
Yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure if we were live on air yet. So, yeah, I mean, again, he's just superpowers, super omnipotent, godlike powers. So why would you challenge him? Right? I say that facetiously, but, they credit all these things to Trump, but then say he has to be stopped. Well, how do you stop somebody with that kind of power? So again, they want to take what Trump is already delivering and make it their campaign promise. So what I want to know, the question that I would ask Nancy Pelosi if I were part of the press corps, simply because I actually have a little bit of integrity about myself, is I would ask her, in order to, where is it here? Where was it? Reward honest hard work with jobs that pay enough to get ahead and support the freedom of workers. Are they going to lower our taxes even more? Because Trump's already cut our taxes and we're taking home 80% of the country. 80% of the workers in this country are taking home more money now than they were 2 years ago. More people are working now than they were 2 years ago. More minority people are working now than ever have in this country. What is it that the Democrats think they can do better in economic frontiers? What is it they think that they're doing that's better? I don't understand. But anyway, that's their pledge. Now, here comes the great one. Here comes the great one. Clean up corruption to make Washington work for you. It says every American should have an equal say in our government, but the dysfunctional political system in D.C. allows greedy special interest lobbyists to rig the rules at the expense of people. Democrats will clean up the culture of corruption in Washington and break the stranglehold on our democracy by big corporations and wealthy campaign donors. We will restore dignity to our democracy and give power back to the people, because our leaders should be focused on making sure our government works for everyone. Unless your name is Cheryl Atkinson, James Rosen, unless you're running a conservative thinking 501(c)(3), anything like that, right? Where the Democrats have the IRS targeting people, had the FBI spying on people. Come on. Really? They think that people are this stupid that we don't remember just a couple of years ago? Hell, they were spying on Trump during his campaign. Come on. Again, look, neither side wants to clean up D.C., okay? If you think one side wants D.C. cleaned up and the other side doesn't, you're fooling yourselves. Trump talked about draining the swamp. I think he has found that it's much, much more difficult than what he thought it would be. Okay? He'll never drain the swamp. Could we make government smaller? Yes, we could. That won't get rid of career, bureaucrats, though. That'll get rid of some, but not all. You'll never get rid of all of them. There will always be, at least, if it's not a full-blown swamp, there will always at least be mud bogs here and there all over D.C. That's just how it is. I don't like it, but I'm a realist. So anyway, that's the Democrats' platform. Two of Trump's campaign promises and a re-upping of one of their own promises. Again, how dumb do they think people are? They really think that their constituents are stupid. They really do. All right. So anyway, we're going to press on. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we'll take the bottom of the hour break here. I know we started about a minute late, but we're okay. We'll go ahead and take the break now because we're between stories anyway. And when we come back, we're going to press on with next up on the list. And I guess do yourself a favor, go get your drinks, your snacks, whatever it is you need to do. And before we check out, I want to remind you that coming up after my program tonight immediately, FUBAR with Polita Bunny and Orty. Well, maybe not Orty tonight, but Foo will be here. So do yourself a favor. You're going to stay tuned right here to KLRN because it is the place to be. Rick, I don't know if are you ready to make an announcement yet about what you mentioned earlier or no?
No, because I probably won't do that for at least a couple more weeks if I do it.
Okay. So we'll just keep that hushed. Sort of. Just know there might be an announcement coming. Anyway, bottom of the hour. Go get your stuff. Come back in about 3 or 4, and we'll be right here, and we'll take on some more news.
Oh, but ain't that America? You and me, ain't that America? Something to see, baby. Ain't that America? Home of the free, yeah.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, But even then, he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Oh, but ain't that America for you and me? Ain't that America? Something to see, baby. Ain't that America? Home of the free, yeah.
Little pink houses. Anyway, okay, speaking of houses, next story up on the block is, again, related to our economy. Shocking, right? I know. I like to concentrate on things like this, especially when they're good. So, real median household income in the United States hit $61,372 in 2017. That is an all-time high, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Median household income was $61,372 in 2017. Think about that for a minute, okay? An increase in real terms of 1.8% from the 2016 median. We were already just months into Trump's administration, and it was already being felt across the country. You may not have tangibly felt it right away, but an increase, and not third consecutive annual increase in median household income. Now, what does that mean? That means that we bottomed out so bad through the recession that we were starting to try to claw our way back. But when you talk about 3 years in a row of increases, you're talking about, let's see, that was 17, so 16 and 15, yeah. So in 15, the increase was 0.03%. And in 16, it was 0.06%. So from 16 to 17, basically, it tripled. And the growth rate tripled from the time Trump was elected. So the annual income and poverty tables released by the Census Bureau showed median household income going back to 1967 in constant 2017 dollars. Okay, so they adjusted, inflation and all that stuff, strength of the dollar, you name it. It's all factored in. 2017 was the highest in any year ever since they started recording this. 50 years they go back. This is the best it's ever been. So, in a telephone press conference, the Census Bureau cautioned that the median household income was not a standalone all-time high for median household income in the United States, but adjusted for inflation, that it is. And the Bureau explained that this was because the question that the Census Bureau asked people about their income was changed in the past, and because of the margin of error in the data. Yeah. Any way to detract from what's going on in this country. They can't look at this country and say we're having an economic boom right now. They can't do it. It just digs in their craw, and they cannot admit that Trump is delivering on some of his promises. I'm not saying he's delivered on all of them. He said he would get us to 4% GDP. We're there. We're there. And the outlook is good, that it'll sustain. So again, what's their campaigning? What's their strategy? Vote for us, we'll make you poorer. Vote for us, we'll raise your taxes. Come on. Let's all use our heads here. Okay? I like having more money in my pocket. I'm going to vote that way. End of story. If you would much rather be receiving a paltry government check for laying in a beat-up recliner that should have been hauled off to the dump years ago and not get off your butt and do anything productive in this world, why should I be giving you any money? This is an argument I had the other night on Twitter. I was being just mauled by a group of leftists that were saying that a work requirement on welfare was ridiculous. No, it's not. A work requirement on welfare has been proven time and again in states to decrease the welfare rolls. And just because there's a work requirement doesn't mean that you just get completely cut off. But if you make enough, it does. Okay? I think if you're on welfare and you end up getting a job that pays, let's say it's a lower end, low skilled job, you're making $9 an hour. Okay? $9 an hour. And you're getting 30 hours a week. Oh no, we can't do 30 because then they have to give you benefits because of Obama. So you're getting 29 hours a week. Okay? You can find another job that'll give you 10 to 15 hours a week more. Or I think there should be a graduated welfare program. Okay? I got a job. I'm working. I'm making about 65% of what I really need to make. Okay, well, we can graduate you up. According to plan, you should be working your way to more money through successes in the job place, through advancement in your job, possibly working yourself into a higher position. I'm all about helping somebody that's willing to bust their butt and help themselves. Too many people in this country abuse the welfare system. And I don't care what color they are. There's whites, there's blacks, there's browns, there's reds, there's yellows. I don't care. There are people out there of all colors, all races, all creeds that are abusing the welfare system. I want them weeded out. That alone would save us huge money. Huge money. All right. So anyway, that's enough of that. We're not going to go too far into that. We talked about Kavanaugh briefly earlier. Hillary Clinton has chimed in on Kavanaugh now. We know that the confirmation hearing is concluded, and they're going to actually put him up for confirmation vote in October. Why they're waiting so long, I don't know. But anyway, you get people like Cory Booker and Kamala Harris talking about why do we need to rush this, but you get justices that Obama wanted appointed, and they were done inside of 2 months. Bush's were done in right around 2 months. Why does Trump have to drag out? Why does it have to be dragged out? Because it's Trump. We all know the answer. But anyway, Hillary has been caught lying about Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, making Hillary's lie meter, exactly. She was caught lying about him, making the false and oft-repeated claim that he called birth control abortion-inducing drugs. And this is despite the fact that media fact-checking website and the Washington Post have already called out the abortion activist Kamala Harris for making the same false statement. Now, during his confirmation hearing, Judge Kavanaugh talked about his ruling upholding the right of pro-life groups to not be forced to pay for abortion drugs, which he called abortion-inducing drugs. The pro-abortion movement has always falsely claimed that allows pro-life and Christian businesses to deny birth control, even though they don't object to non-abortifacient birth control, so it falsely claimed Kavanaugh wrongly labeled birth control as an abortion drug. But even the mainstream media has rebuked abortion activists for making this false claim. Now, Senator Kamala Harris was given a false rating by PolitiFact for her deception or deceptively edited video in a tweet claiming that Supreme Court nominee Kavanaugh had called birth control abortion-inducing drugs. The Washington Post gave her 4 Pinocchios, its biggest whopper rating, and urged pro-abortion Democrats to drop this talking point. But that didn't stop Mama from picking up the lie and stammering around with it. They said running with it. I call it stammering around because, let's face it, Hillary's not running anywhere anymore. She'd be lucky to get around on her little scooter. Like Harris, Clinton implied that the Supreme Court nominee believes all birth control causes abortions. But Kavanaugh did not say that was his personal belief or that all birth control causes abortions. What he did was answer a question about the Priests for Life case, the details of the pro-life group's argument and his ruling. That was a group that was being forced to provide a certain kind of health coverage over their religious objections to their employees. And under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, the question was first, was this a substantial burden on the religious exercise? And it seemed to me quite clearly that it was, according to Kavanaugh. It was a technical matter of filling out a form. In that case, with that, they said filling out the form would make them complicit in the provision of the abortion-inducing drugs that they were, as a religious matter, objected to. So, but the Washington Post and PolitiFact and others disagreed. The fact checker pointed out that Harris's tweet takes Kavanaugh's statement out of context. The Washington Post fact checker said Kavanaugh, referring to his "they said," demonstrates he is merely reflecting the plaintiff's argument. The newspaper also cited Kavanaugh's dissent in the case, in which he wrote, "They complain that submitting the required form contravenes their religious beliefs because doing so, in their view, makes them complicit in providing coverage for contraceptives, including some that they believe operate as abortifacients." Despite the facts being against her, Harris has stubbornly refused to correct her lie. But that's okay, because we want her to campaign on lies. This is what they do, and we call them out on it. More and more people are opening their eyes to the lies. Hey, I made a rhyme. I do it all the time, but I just didn't know it. Anyway, Harris's spokeswoman, Lily Adams, who also happens to be a former Planned Parenthood CEO Cecile Richards' daughter, defended her boss to PolitiFact. In his full answer, he uses the term uncritically, Adams said. He doesn't say so-called. I don't agree with it. There's no caveat that he gives that he does not agree with the term. But Carrie Kupik, a Justice Department spokeswoman, explained that Kavanaugh was simply summarizing the position of the religious group Priests for Life, which held that belief. It's very clear that he's characterizing their position, which was held by all the Catholic organizations within that set of cases. But even within characterizing their position, if you look at the dissent, it's still not a blanket description of birth control. Harris has not removed her deceptive comments from social media, though. Abortion activists fear Kavanaugh, who has served on the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for D.C. for more than a decade. They think that he can magically just overturn Roe versus Wade and do away with birth control. And, you know, he has an extensive record, though, of protecting religious liberty, including in the Priests for Life case, and enforcing restrictions on abortion. I don't have a problem with this. I don't. You know, these people, they scream like harpies that they want abortion on demand and they want it now. Okay, you know what? Fine. Have it. Don't ask us to pay for it, though. Taxpayers should not have to pay for abortion. Period. Period. End of story. Pro-life leaders believe he would do the same on the Supreme Court. The United States Senate is expected to vote on his confirmation in the beginning of October. Again, don't know why we're waiting, but okay, whatever. Now, related to this, Senator Susan Collins' office says it has received threats of rape and other violence from abortion activists who want her to vote against Kavanaugh. The Maine Republican is a key swing vote in Kavanaugh's confirmation. Collins is pro-abortion, and she has not yet announced her decision about him. Well, she kind of has since this came out. So over the past few months, NARAL, Planned Parenthood, and other pro-abort groups have been targeting her with phone calls, political ads, fundraising for a pro-abortion Democrat opponent, and a coat hanger campaign. But these attempts to influence many have the opposite effect. Collins told reporters this week that her office has received a number of threatening phone calls and other messages, including one caller who threatened to rape one of her female staffers. These are the kind of people that want to run our country. In one case, and we are going to turn this over to the police, but unfortunately, of course, the person didn't leave a name or number, but they actually threatened to rape one of my young female staffers, she told the Wall Street Journal. Newsweek reported that many of the phone calls and letters arriving at her office are threatening and full of profanities. A number appear to be out-of-state abortion activists who are calling at the promptings of Planned Parenthood, NARAL, and other pro-abort groups. The report went on, there's a quote that says, if you care at all about women's choice, vote no on Kavanaugh. Don't be a dumb bitch, one caller said. F you was also said. We've heard this term before. Another caller said that Collins was a feckless. Yeah, we can't say that word on the air.
It rhymes with runt and starts with C.
Yeah, it starts with C and rhymes with hunt. Yeah, I know. Yes. Standing there letting Trump and his appointees steal the right to choose what women do with their bodies. Their body is fine. It's the other body we're worried about. So, and then a bunch more of the F you, F you, F you. It's ridiculous. Here's another one. A letter sent to her office in Portland, Maine read, if you vote for Kavanaugh, every waitress who serves you is going to spit in your food, and that's if you're lucky, you effing C word that rhymes with hunt. Think of that every meal. Another caller told one of Collins' 25-year-old that she would be raped and impregnated, according to another voicemail. Steve Abbott, her chief of staff, said they have received so many abusive and vulgar calls related to the Kavanaugh vote. Since the 2016 elections, they've definitely noticed an increase in the intensity and anger of the calls, Abbott said. Most of that is from the left, but it's from the right as well. Which, it makes sense. She's in Maine. A Maine Republican is very different than you're going to find in Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee even. It's just different. She's very moderate, to say the least. But Collins has indicated that she intends to, as of right now, vote in favor of Justice or in favor of Judge Kavanaugh to become Justice Kavanaugh. They even had a group that has a thrift shop that helps low-income women ask for 300 of the hangers. So at least 300 of them have gone to a good cause. And she also slammed a political fundraising campaign against her as an attempt at bribery. She said that she will announce her official decision on Kavanaugh before the Senate vote. But she did vote to confirm Trump's first nominee to the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch. Now, pro-abortion groups have labeled Kavanaugh a serious threat to a woman's right to abortion. First of all, I was unaware that this was defined as a right in our founding documents anywhere. And pro-lifers have expressed high hopes for Kavanaugh and the future of unborn babies' rights. Kavanaugh has served. We already covered that part. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So anyway, we're just about there. I didn't realize we were quite that tight. I was hoping to be able to get into Obama's speech, but hey, you know, that's what other days are for, right? So anyway, just a reminder, FUBAR is coming up next. Rick, are you doing anything tonight at all?
Not tonight. However, we might as well just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. 2 weeks from tonight, I will be, for Wednesday nights, because I gave Bunny my time slot, we're going to move America Off the Rails to 10 Eastern, so I'll actually be on after Bunny. But I'm not going to do that probably for 2 weeks, because I want some time to get some things situated first.
Well, there you go. Okay, folks, that's the announcement I told you might get. Rick just took it and went with it. That's great. So that means you're going to have the full load triple threat KLRN radio Wednesday night. Me, the Foo, and the Rickster.
We still have Jess Bat and cleanup too, remember?
What's that?
We still have Jess Bat and cleanup after Me Too.
And Jess is batting cleanup. That's right. She's in the late night spot there. So it's the quadrangular. It's unbelievable.
It's the baseball diamond, yo.
It's a grand slam again coming. So anyway, do yourself a favor. Stay tuned, because FUBAR is about to launch in just a few minutes. You'll have time to run and get your drink and make your little tinkle and do what you got to do and get yourself back in your chair, get your earbuds plugged in, or if you're home alone and you can blare it out loud, that's even better. But Foo is next, then you get a break, and then Jess's POV.
So
correct?
That's correct. So I gotta say, having met you and the beast of a man you are, hearing you say tinkle just makes me laugh. Just saying.
Well, you know, try to keep it PG-13 for the most part. So I don't, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I hate that saying, but it's true. Anyway, okay. So, look, if you like the show, tell your friends. If your friends like the show, you need new ones, but they and you are welcome here every week with me for more fun, jocularity, and news. Play it, Rick. Go ahead, play it.
I am playing it. I'm letting you talk over it. Are you done?
Okay. I'll guy scream at the end. Go ahead.
Oh, it's not listening to me now. Hang on. There we go.
We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're Americans.